Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Musical People and Journeys, a new rock album review show with my wonderful panel, to Lauren, to Trish and to Paul.
Good morning.
Hi gang! If you are listening for the first time, we review all the latest, or supposedly latest, new rock albums. And today we are reviewing Deep Purple and their new album, One. So who are Deep Purple? So Deep Purple are an English rock band formed in 1968. Lauren, you weren't even born. You weren't even a twinkling in your mum's eye, I don't think. They're considered among the pioneers of heavy metal and modern hard rock, although their musical style has been varied throughout their career. Originally formed as a psychedelic and progressive rock band, they shifted to a heavier sounding 70 album, Deep Purple in rock. Deep Purple, together with Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, being referred to as the unholy trinity of British hard rock and heavy metal in the early mid-70s. Listed in 1975 in the Guinness Book of World Record as the globe's loudest band, for 1972 concert Rainbow Theatre, they sold over 100 million records worldwide. So we have another returning band. So Deep Purple, we reviewed their album Oh Well, and it scored a 2.6, and it's currently 319th of our 410 all-time albums. So yeah, didn't kind of go down okay, was kind of average. Lauren, you're new to the show. This is your second show with us, so we'll throw you in the deep end here, shall we? What did you think of Deep Purple? Have you listened to Deep Purple as an album before?
Not as an album, no. I've sort of like caught bits and bobs. So when this album was put on my list of things to listen to, I will admit, I was excited because I'd heard things individually and sort of spread out. And so I was like, oh, this is a classic vibe. This is what I like. This is what I was raised with, playing in the house and stuff like that. So I went into it really, really wanting to love it. And I didn't. Like, don't get me wrong, some tracks on it, like Pictures of You, favourite track on there. It was a classic feel with guitar and vocals to suit. It's on my playlist of things that I will go back to. But when it comes to albums as a whole, I thought it was classic in style and sound. I can see others that I know being a big fan of this. I can see them really enjoying it. But for me, it just felt a bit middle of the road compared to other stuff that I listen to of the same genre. And it was one of those situations where, as harsh as it sounds, I was like, oh, it's a new album, but it doesn't really feel fresh. So I was like a little bit disappointed, but I can see where it has its place. I'm not going to say, oh, no one should listen to this, because that's never the case.
It's often the case, isn't it, where your expectations are really high, and then when you actually listen to them, it doesnbut live up to its billing. Is that
yeah.
Which is very similar to our next panelist, Paul. So our expectations are obviously very high, but will he hit the bar? Paul, massive Deep Purple fan, or used to be. Are you still a Deep Purple fan?
Well, I enjoyed their last album because they covered really forgotten songs that most of us had never heard of before, and brought them, the Deep Purple makeover, and I really liked it. It was the likes of Dave and Panther Chris that didn't really like it, calling them a one-hit wonder band and stuff like that. But so for this one, we still got the Gillan, Glover, and Pace, which represent 3/5 of the Deep Purple Mark II. It seems that people prefer call them Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, or Mark 4, different favourite lineups. But anyway, they're 3/5 of the band behind Machine Head, which is regarded as the birthplace of heavy metal. Deep Purple has said that the album title translates to everything equals 1, which we know is the wrong concept because everything equals 42. But and while the concept of a unified world is an admirable, optimistic outlook, it has nothing to do with 13 songs on this album. Indeed, Equals One is more of a nod to their old days of classic rock. And Gillan's voice is still welcomed, and his sense of humour on these classic bluesy hard rock tracks. I found the album, though, would have been a lot better if they trimmed some of the weaker tracks.
Now, somebody who's not weaker, and that's how Trish. Trish, what do you think of Deep Purple?
I sort of knew of them from songs that I'd heard on the radio, so I didn't really know what to expect with this album. But I quite like the opening track, "Show Me." But it did show that the vocals were quite weak and trying too hard. But I guess they are a good age, and after all these years with concerts, etc., it will take its toll. Unfortunately, no standout track for me on the album, but I did enjoy the album as a whole musically to listen to, especially as I've not really listened to Deep Purple before. Not bad for old rockers.
Yeah, but that's about me and Paul. Now, let's talk about Deep Purple. Show Me, the first few tracks in this album, I go into myself with Show Me. I'm thinking to myself, oh, yeah, baby, bring it on. This is old style, psychedelic kind of keyboard, Deep Purple that I absolutely grew up and loved. I'm thinking, oh, hello. I just got a bit bored of it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm going like, well, maybe I've just moved on from this sound. Maybe it's something I'm looking for as a nostalgic trip that goes over there. Saying that, I think I'm similar to... I did enjoy it, though. And I've gone back to it a few times. But it's not something I go like, oh, do I really want to listen to it? And I go like, well, I kind of do, and I kind of don't. And I kind of go like... But it wouldn't be my go-to track album. It's not an album that I'm going to refer back to. But I think it was incredibly well produced, and I think they tried to go a little bit back to their old sort of style, but and it works. And I think if you're a massive Deep Purple fan and you massively love this sound, I think you're going to like it. I thought it was solid. I thought it was good. It just wasn't something I just keep going back to. But yeah.
No, it made me want to go back to Perfect Strangers.
Oh yeah, oh totally, oh absolutely, definitely, yeah. I mean, if you want to, yeah, Paul, you're right. If you really want to get that track, then go and listen to Perfect Strangers, and what an album. But I think I could see what they were trying to do. But yeah, it was good without being brilliant. I think let's find out though, shall we? If they get more than 4, will they beat 2.6, which is their previous Oh Well album? Let's find out then, shall we? Lauren, what did you think, and what did you give out of 5?
Liked elements of it, thought it was okay, but like I said, new album, but didn't really feel fresh for new content and music. I only gave it a 2.
You don't need to justify your 2. Okay, you don't need to justify it. Okay, bitch. Paul. No, I'm joking. Paul. What did you give?
I thought it was an average album, and 2.5.
Trish. Now you're on mute. But it was a 2.5.
2.5.
2.5. Now, should we get this one right though, Paul? Somebody give it a 4, and the other person give it a 1.5. Who give it the 4? Was it Dom or Dave?
Well, is this like rolling the dice? Dom.
Correct. Well done. 1 out of yay. Yeah, Dom give it a 4.
Do I get a prize if you ask me for that on the next one?
No. Dave only give it a 1.5. I give it a 3.5. We lose Dave to 1.5. Scored 40.5. Got 2.9. 2.9, which is better than their previous album with us, so there's definitely an improvement there. 280th out of 410 and 84 out of 106 for the year. So solid effort. Solid effort. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to my panel. But what did you guys think out there? What did you think? Why don't you like? Why don't you subscribe? Why don't you leave your comments? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know below. Thank you very much to my panel, to Lauren, to Paul, and to Trish. Goodbye for now. Keep on rocking.
Goodbye.
Bye.